What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Talktagon episode 2, our second episode of this. Obviously, we didn't have one last week because there was no UFC card, but there was yesterday, Saturday,
Yep.
UFC in Saudi Arabia. We had to get up early. You had to get up way earlier than I did because
Yeah. Early one, but we can't
what,
complain. I know a lot
what
of the
time was it for
fans.
you?
For me, I think the card started at 7 a.m., which isn't that bad compared to, some of the fans in other countries really have to get up at crazy times for most of the events. So
Yeah.
it is a little bit annoying, but not really that bad, honestly. I kind of like getting the coffee on and then get the fights on and get the day going right. And then there was some boxing on later that night. So for me, it was a lot of combat sports.
Yeah. I mean, it was what, 9 a.m. for me, so not terrible, but yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun though. It was fun. It was very fun. Forgot to add this. There we go. It was a good time, except for the opening, which we'll get into. But
Yeah,
before we get
first
into
card.
that, there is a little bit of news this week that I definitely wanted to touch on because it's everywhere. So, two people: one, Bryce Mitchell; two, Conor McGregor.
Jeez,
What the
yeah.
hell? What
They're
the
like, let me
hell?
one up each other for being a dumbass.
So, UFC. They didn't have the best luck this week. So if you did not know, we'll start off with Bryce Mitchell because his was first. He started his own podcast, which is an absolute terrible idea. I mean, we have a podcast here, but we're not going to say anything stupid. Bryce Mitchell, on the other hand, he is going to say something stupid. He says it every time he has a fight, every time he has like a post press conference or whatever. He says something dumb. Usually it's dumb, but it's not this offensive.
Yeah.
He has some conspiracies, and if you didn't know, I guess I'll just say he hyped up Hitler. Um, I'll just I'll just say it like
Yeah.
that. I'm not going to repeat everything he said, but he hyped up Hitler, which is
Not the
and
guy you want to
called him
hype up.
called him a good
The
guy.
last guy.
Uh,
Yeah. Someone he'd
uh,
want to go fishing with. But
he
crazy.
got
Yeah,
called out
this
by
is
everybody.
yeah,
Everybody called him
I
out.
love seeing his co-host's face when he was saying he's just like,
He knew like this
yeah,
podcast is out of just one episode.
I'm like, just say something, be like, yo, bro, maybe not on episode one. I mean, oh my God. Maybe not at all, but oh my. Yeah. Thankfully, Dana actually said something about it. And
Yeah,
he at least was mad about it. He still didn't really punish him really, but I mean he got a good talking to the media and was super pissed. It ruined his slap night, his night of slap fighting. Dana just wanted to enjoy slap fighting. And Bryce just couldn't keep his mouth shut and say something normal for once. Yeah. So I feel
he
like
called him the dumbest guy on our roster.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, dude. I feel like Josh Emmett might how hard does this guy hit, dude?
We need him again. I think he
Yeah,
didn't
we
hit
need to
hard enough.
run back to rematch at this point because I think Josh Emmett would be happy to.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everyone was calling him out. Jan Blachowicz was calling him out big time.
He's Polish, if you guys
Jo-
don't know.
Josh Emmett again said, "What did I miss?" Which was funny. Almost every UFC fighter, but it didn't go with just UFC. So obviously, here on Body Slam, we cover professional wrestling. A professional wrestler by the name of Brody King called him out. There was some sports players, some obviously media members. Like I said, Dana White himself said something. He did say that because of free speech, we can't punish him, but he did call him the dumbest fighter on the UFC roster. Called him a lot of explicitives that he just kept
Yeah,
going on about how dumb he was,
yeah.
which is fair. I mean, he is. That was the stupid thing to say.
Oh yeah,
Um,
100%. Yeah, I just think I wanted to say one thing. The UFC is all about their free speech, unless it's asking for a raise. Then they're like, "Whoa, free speech is out the window. You can't ask
yeah,
for a raise. Oh no, no, no. Go to the PFL, bro. Oh, you want more pay? Oh no, no, no. That's not part of free speech, bro. Get out." But hey, if it's anything else, it's free speech. Anything but a raise, it's free speech.
Hitler is
For real.
better than a
Asking for a
money
raise.
raise. Insane, insane.
Oh my
Um,
God, yeah. And then Connor had to one it up.
Yeah, Connor. Then we move on to Connor. Like I said, UFC had a hell of a week. I think it was a day or 2 days later, Conor McGregor went on social media and went after Habib Nurmagomedov for some reason because you can't let that go.
Khabib lives up there rent free.
And it wasn't necessarily about Habib. It was more about I don't even know why he said it. He was just like basically he dropped the N word twice, and he just I don't know. He just put it in the tweet about Habib and was like,
It's like, show
he
your
just said the N
family.
word. Yeah. Yeah, show your family. I beat Aldo in
Show your
15
kids.
seconds.
I'm like, why do you want to see this guy's kid so bad? I'm like,
and why did you have to throw that in? Like, what the hell?
yeah. And what was crazy to me is, 20 minutes earlier, he was tweeting literally on that same exact account, on that same exact day. Oh, Bryce Mitchell is such an idiot. I can't believe he said that, whatever. And it's like, bro, it's kind of crazy to go from that to saying that within the same hour, basically. I'm like, I don't know what happened in between those tweets, maybe something. But he was definitely feeling very passionate towards Khabib in that hour. It went from towards Bryce towards Khabib. And I think Conor is always going to be mad about Khabib. I think that.
I'm assuming that this new startup on Habib has to do with the Paul Hughes stuff. So Paul Hughes won, or he didn't win. He fought Umar Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
On
Bellator, PFL, PFL.
Yeah, and he lost. And then after the fight, it was a close one. Paul could have won that, but after the fight,
very close.
He hugged Habib and was like, "Hey, I'm not like that other guy. I respect you guys." Blah, blah, blah. And then Conor started going off on Paul Hughes, and then it went off on. Paul Hughes is Irish, if you didn't know. So yeah, it was weird. It was so strange. I don't know. Conor just freaked the hell out, and I don't. Something wrong with that guy.
Yeah, dude. Conor has too much time on his hands. He should be in the gym a little more. Too much Twitter fingers. Too much all this side stuff.
This is my question. I think I know the answer here. I mean, we've talked about it a ton. Is Conor McGregor ever going to fight again?
I think he fights again. Will it be with the UFC? I don't know. I feel like he wants to get out of the UFC as fast as possible, but I feel like as long as he has his contract, that he's basically stuck. So I feel like maybe he does one or two more fights just to get out of the contract, and then just start doing his exhibition fights with the Paul brothers and go to India for that and stuff.
Well, he did. He is part owner of BKFC, and Jeremy Stevens beat Eddie Alvarez in a BKFC fight. Not this week.
Who the fuck is that guy? Jeremy Stevens.
Conor and Jeremy went face to face, and he told Dave Feldman, "They set it up. I want to fight Jeremy." So, is that going to happen? Probably not. But
I feel
especially
like that's
with the contract.
But I would like metaphor for Conor. You used to not even know who Jeremy Stevens was. He wasn't even on your level. Now you're at the point where you're going to fight almost 35-year-old, almost 40-year-old Jeremy Stevens instead of being in the UFC. Yeah, it's crazy. The fall off from Conor needs to be studied because at one point, Conor was the pinnacle of combat sports. Every single fighter, maybe you don't want to be exactly like him, but he's someone you want to, try to aspire to be in terms of fame and in terms of elevating the entire sport. And he really was carrying the sport on his back for a while in terms of mainstream media. And then the fame got up to a certain level and it went overboard for him. And it all kind of started going downhill. And Conor kind of became another example of instead of, I want to be like Conor, I want to be not like Conor. So Conor, I think, I don't know what's up with him. I think he needs to hopefully get back in the ring. And I feel like maybe that'll give him some sort of focus. So we're not seeing all these crazy Conor outbreaks on Twitter more than we ever see him fight and training. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Conor was the biggest star for the UFC at one point. In 2025, who could possibly care, honestly? And that's coming from someone who was a fan of Conor. At his peak, it was awesome. He was bringing all the eyes to UFC.
Yep.
Press conferences.
Yeah.
You couldn't miss it. Anything. Now, who cares? Who could possibly care about seeing Conor McGregor fight at this point?
I know. I know, especially it's just getting to the point where how much fights do we have to, be announced, the whole Chandler thing, and and then it never happened. So I'm like, that was so many years ago, literal years. I'm like, I get it was a freak injury with his leg. He has his titanium chin bone now, but I'm like, are you going to come back or not? Because he's not getting any younger. I'm like, the longer you wait, the worse it's going to be for you, Connor. It's like the sport keeps going while you're on the sidelines, bro. All these guys are leveling up while you're not doing anything. So I think that Connor, it's now or never, really. I mean, he's not getting any younger.
And there was a point in time where it was like, oh, Connor's the biggest star in the sport. Like UFC needs Connor. They don't anymore. We have Alex Pereira. We have I mean, Alex Pereira right now is the biggest star, but there's others. There's John Jones is back. Tom Aspinall has a title. There's huge fights in the smaller weight divisions. Pantoja is going crazy. Islam
Makhachev.
Like,
Ilya carrying the whole country on his back.
Yeah, Marab too. Like, we don't need Connor anymore.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's just who cares? And obviously, there's going to be more stars coming up. So
yeah, I feel like back when Connor was fighting, if you asked a casual, "Oh, who are the UFC fighters?" He'll be like, "Conor McGregor." Maybe they know John Jones, and it's like, that's pretty much it. And then it's like, now, okay, you ask someone on the streets, they know Sean O'Malley, Adesanya, Pereira, Islam. It's like there's so much more really mainstream guys now, just because the sport has grown onto a level where it's just more eyes on it now than ever before. And Connor's kind of becoming a thing of the past.
Yeah, it's sad to see, especially with how he fell off, but it happened.
Yep.
But yeah, that was our
very controversial.
Controversial news of the week.
Very controversial.
We did have a fight night or morning for us in Saudi Arabia. So we kicked off. Well, the card was headlined by Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov, which was, we'll get to it. But the prelims, we kick off with the prelims. And we have here our predictions for the prelims. As you can see, started off real well for you. Real well.
Yeah, I was feeling good in the prelims, bro. I was like, I see a lot of green. I'm winning. Okay, feeling good. Especially the first fight, the judges had our back. For sure.
Yes,
the judges had our back.
We'll get into it. Kicked off the night, Hamdi Abdelawab versus Jamal Pogues. This was a fight. This was a fight.
It started out okay.
Yeah, I'll just say this. The fight was boring as hell. It was boring as shit. This fight sucked. This is the worst fight on the card. I can't believe this. I mean, hey, fair enough. They put it as the first fight on the prelims, so you can't really complain much more than that, but it sucked, especially for someone who's waking up at 9 a.m. or for your case, 6:30 a.m. to watch a fight, and this is the first fight. You're like, oh my God, I want to go back to sleep.
Totally.
So it started off okay. Hamdi was solid in the first round, and then all of a sudden, Jamal Pogues started taking over. And I say taking over very lightly because, again, it was very boring.
Taking over,
But he was winning. He was winning. There's zero highlights of this fight. I can't. Oh, he don't get down. He slammed. No, it sucked. So we go to the decision. This was where the fun started. So we head to the judges. It was very clear that Jamal Pogues won this fight at least 2-1. Very clear that he won this
agree.
Fight.
I think he lost round 1 and came back and won the next 2 because Hamdi got the takedown in round 1, was doing good, ground and pound. And then in the next round, 2 rounds, never did another grappling exchange again. Like, literally, it was just a stand-up fight from then on out. And it's like Pogues was going to outstrike you at that point.
Yeah, and he literally, quite literally did nothing.
Yeah.
And the judges called the scorecard 30-27. 29-28. Okay. 29-28. Okay. And your winner by split decision, Hamdi.
I cannot believe it.
What?
Yeah, no way, dude.
Now, we both picked Hamdi, but he did not win that fight. He did not win that fight.
I was shocked to see that. I was like, all right, starting out 0-1 on the predictions, but we'll move on. Nope. the judge is like, hey, bro, I think he won too.
So the commentary was freaking out. Paul Felder was like,
Rightfully so.
how is this possible? Lorisenko even tweeted while on the broadcast, he didn't win that fight. Yeah, no one thought he won that fight. That was absolutely insane that Hamzy won that fight. Jamal Pogues went on Instagram after the fight and was like, I won that. Everyone knows I won that. And it kind of screwed him. So Jamal Pogues, this was his last fight on his contract.
Yeah,
He lost.
Dana White Contender Series guy.
Which usually means when you lose on your last fight, you're most likely released. Let go. You're gone.
Yeah. He hasn't
I
had
feel
the best
bad.
run.
I don't think yeah, like he wasn't like the best guy, but I do feel bad. And I hope that UFC at least gives him one more fight to try and like because he didn't lose. So give him one
Yeah.
more fight to prove like, hey, I can win. Because he did not lose this fight.
Yeah, 100%. I think that the heavyweight division isn't the deepest division as it is, so you may as well keep someone around like Jamal around where he's gonna not maybe be the best guy, but I mean, hey, I feel like when you get that clear of a robbery, I mean, unless they were gonna cut him even if he won, then okay, I understand. But if it was kind of one of those decisions where, okay, if this guy wins, we keep him. If he loses, we cut him. Then I feel like they should give him another chance. He is not the best fighter, like in terms of like world champion. Do I think he'll be a world champion? No. But I do think he deserves another shot after that. In terms of and then in terms of Hamdi, I don't know, dude. I feel like he's okay, but he's pretty short for a heavyweight.
We have to talk about his post fight. Because he on the post fight interview and said, I'm back. I'm sorry. I was going away for 2 years. I apologize. I'll never leave again. Da, da, da. Well, if you didn't know, the reason why he was gone for 2 years is because he got popped for steroids and was suspended. So
yeah,
it wasn't like he was injured or taking a vacation.
Yeah,
he was suspended. So that's not the best look. Not the best look at all. And then for that to be the decision.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of was a robbery. He did not look good. I thought maybe he'd come back stronger after that layoff. Maybe
no, he was off the steroids.
No, yeah, right. Have more time to juice up? No, but yeah, he looked pretty much. I mean, the same really. I don't know if he just had worked on his striking so much he didn't want to work on his wrestling because he's a Greco-Roman wrestler background, and he did not do any sort of takedowns whatsoever. Even like clinching, I'm like, it was more of a stand-up fight pretty much from round 2 and 3 on. And I personally didn't think he would win that fight. But hey, this is sometimes the judges get it wrong, especially when it's not a super dominant performance for Pose. So I just got to move on.
This is where I have to say it might be controversial. So sorry to everyone out there who thinks it's controversial, but we have to talk about the Saudi judging. We have to. It's to the point where how do I word this without saying bad? It's to the point where sometimes you think that the Saudi judges are fixing it for the overseas fighters, honestly. And you hate to say that. You hate to like say, oh, they're going for their countrymen or they're anti-American or whatever, but the proof is there. Like it's happened so many times where an American or a Canadian, someone like that, is gonna win the fight, and then they give it to the Saudi guy because he's the home fighter. Judging is atrocious, and we'll talk about it a little later. Where I thought it was going to happen again and didn't. Thank God.
Yeah, thank goodness.
But yeah, this was a case of that. I feel because he did not, clear as day, he didn't win this fight. If this fight was anywhere else in the world, Jamal Pogues wins this fight.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's hard for me because I feel like MMA judging is just so bad in general. Where it's like
it is bad. It is. I'll give you that.
Thankfully, the rest of the decisions were pretty good, I feel like, when they did go to decision on this card, at least. But yeah, I mean, it's like the judging is just so subjective, or at least that's how it seems with how these judges score it, where you think it's going to go one way, and then they somehow pick the fighter where you think no way they're going to give them that fight. So yeah, I feel like there needs to be some sort of either accountability for when there's robberies, or some sort of changes in the judging where We know exactly what it is. We're supposed to already know exactly what it is. It's supposed to be damage over everything. Everything else
Yeah,
comes second. If damage is even, then they start worrying about that. So, I mean,
we
I
need a
guess there
thing
wasn't
where
really any
UFC.
damage in this fight. Maybe that's why.
That's
But
true. We need a thing where UFC gets 3 judges, 3 solid judges that they can count on, and then travel them. I
yeah,
know obviously it's hard to do because the commissions in each states and countries, whatever, appoint the judging, but like we need like 3 judges that are there and they're just
yeah,
there
yeah. I feel like
because swapping
before we
judges
know it,
never works.
for real, before we know it, we're gonna have the robot AI judges, and we don't want that. I'd rather
Yeah,
have
it's coming.
actual people, but
That's
they actually know what they're
knowing
doing.
Dana, that's
Yeah,
coming.
yeah. Knowing Dana, yeah. If he wants AI pound for pound list, next thing you know, AI judging. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
AI John Jones coming back after out of retirement,
John Jones versus John
coming back.
Jones.
Yeah, so I think judging is just a kind of a constant problem, but yeah, I feel like it does kind of always seem when it is a bad decision, it does kind of seem to go in the hometown fighters' way, which is
Yeah.
I think a problem in pretty much all combat sports, honestly.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, we both picked Hamdi. He didn't win, but he won, so we'll take it. We
Yeah,
will
we'll
take
take
it.
it. Want to know?
We're both 1-0, and then it went
Me and
downhill
Brady
for
were
me.
actually the judges. Me and Brady actually
No, we
scored
rigged it.
beforehand.
I wish because I would have helped myself out a little more. So, well, I could have helped myself out with the next one. So, Bogdan Grad versus Lucas Alexander. I went with Alexander. You went with Grad.
Let's
This
go.
was
This is a
Grad's
crazy
UFC
one.
debut. Um,
Yes. He was from the
what a
Contender
showing!
Series.
So, Lucas Alexander in his last fight looked solid. I thought he talked all week. Hey, you thought my last performance was good. I'm going to make this one look even better. And I bought into it. Maybe I shouldn't have because Bogdan Grad looked great. I mean, first round
Yeah.
was a little back and forth, but then that second round, he really turned it on and beat the hell out of him and got a nasty TKO punch in round 2, ground and pound, and he won. Bogdan
Yep.
Grad with the TKO finish in round 2. He looked good. He looked really
Let's
good,
go.
especially at this weight. We need more people like that, more knockout punchers at this weight, and he'll do good. I think this guy could potentially have a solid future if he continues to look like that. He
Yeah.
looks like 8 different fighters mixed together, but he does look good in the cage.
Dude, yeah. He has a funky style.
Yeah,
Like he'll have that guard up, the elbows like up covering his face, like high elbow guard, and man, he's a tough guy because yeah, I was a little worried for this pick because Lucas was coming out strong, looking
yeah.
really
First
good on
round
the
was
stand
easy.
up. Yeah. And even his takedown defense is looking pretty good and his defensive grappling. I was kind of sweating after that first round. And then Garad really turned it on in that second round, man. What a tough fighter. I think that he has the potential to be a fan favorite. One of those guys that maybe he's not going to be a champion, but he's going to be one of those guys that puts on a fun fight every single time out there. And sometimes that's all the fans really want. They just want entertaining
Yep,
fights. Sometimes you don't need to win them all, but as long as you're entertaining while doing it, then you're going to have a big fan base.
agreed. This guy, he looked good. I would love to see him in there with another big puncher. I don't know about next, but eventually he could be like, like you said, not champion, but more of a gatekeeper type guy. You beat him, then hey, you're good. But if you
Yeah.
lose to him, you need to keep on
Yeah.
working.
Back to the drawing board.
But he did win, and you did pick him, and I did not. So I'm 1-1. You're 2-0 at this point. Looking
Yo,
good.
shout out to Grod. He was an underdog too. Man,
He was an underdog. You bet on him, right?
I bet on him. Shout out Grod.
Oh yeah. I did not make any bets this week. I was too tired.
Smart man. Although it was a good week for me, but smart man.
Well,
Normally it's not so
looking
good.
at the card, I probably would have looking at who I would have bet on, probably would have lost anyway. So glad I didn't. Uh, there's one fight that I would have bet on and I would have won, but maybe 1 or 2 others that I don't know. Don't know.
Yeah.
Especially the main event.
Yeah. I would have lost money.
So we went to the third fight of the night where we make history. This is the first women's fight period in the UFC in Saudi. So that was cool. Jasmine Jasovicius versus Mayra Bueno Silva. You went with Jasovicius. I went with Bueno Silva. The reason why I went with Bueno Silva is because I really thought that she would take this fight to the ground and keep it on the ground and try to, submit opponents like she normally does. I thought this was going to be really grapple heavy. Apparently, what I didn't account for is that Jasmine Jasovicius can out grapple her. What the hell was going on? I don't know. So this fight was solid. It wasn't the best fight, but it was decent, especially in the grappling exchanges, because I was just shocked that Jasovicius was able to take Mayra Bueno Silva down, and Silva could not do anything. And I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
Why?
Jasovicius looked really good in there. I was really impressed. We've seen Bueno Silva submit Holly Holm and have success against many fighters on the ground. So
former title challenger.
Yeah, exactly. So I can see why you went with her 100%. I just think Jasovicius has a little bit more momentum. I feel like Bueno Silva maybe is losing a bit of confidence after her recent performances lately, where hasn't been going her way, hasn't really been able to control the fights really. And man, I think Jasovicius, I liked her post-fight interview. She's like, I'm the female GSP, maybe not as nice or whatever. And I feel like they really need another Canadian star after Mike Mallet got knocked out. So I think that she could fill that role, especially in the women's division. And I was really impressed by this performance. Like you said, Bueno Silva, former title contender, maybe not the most highly touted title when that was a Raquel Pennington versus Bueno Silva when Nunes retired. So it wasn't exactly a regular sort of situation for the title, but nonetheless, title challenger. And this was actually a new weight class for Bueno Silva, if I believe. I think she was going down. I think she was at 135 before, now at 125. So I was interested to see if she was going to be the stronger woman out there. But yeah, Jasovicius handled her pretty well.
That's why I was so shocked that Jasmine was able to control her on the ground. I was like, what is happening here? I thought she would outpower her, and she couldn't. Even off her back, Jasovicius just held her down, and she couldn't do anything. It was so strange. And then on the feet, obviously, Jasovicius was the better fighter. Silva's not the best striker. She often leaves herself open and tries to just hit me so I can get in close and take you down. But it wasn't working. So, props to Jasovicius. He did really good here. And now I think we'll be – I don't know specifically what she'll be ranked, but she'll be ranked up high. And I think she could – one or two more fights, if she wins, she could be a title challenger. So that's pretty cool.
I agree.
Props to her. She did win. Let me check the official card here. She won by unanimous decision, 30-27 all. 30-27 across the board. Dominant victory for her. So props. I mean, not much else to say other than Jasovicius looked really good and Silva didn't, and she dominated her like you'd expect. So you went with Jasovicius. You are now 3-0. I did not.
3-0.
I'm now 1-2.
1-2, and then if you guys see the event totals at the bottom of the graphic, you can see that things go wrong for me in the main card, but we'll get more into that later.
Yeah, things started looking up for me here, though. Things started looking up for me here.
Yeah, things started going wrong after this. Yeah.
Terrence McKinney. Excuse me, Terrence McKinney, and this guy is something else.
We have a love-hate relationship.
Terrence McKinney they said it on commentary when the fight started. He's a guy who's all or nothing, in meaning that he will absolutely go forward and he'll either knock you out or he'll get knocked out. He doesn't give a shit.
Dude, yeah. It's insane. I can't believe it.
When we say that, a lot of people say that and they don't mean it. We mean it. Like he doesn't stop. He just walks forward.
Another
example of that. So Terrence McKinney, apparently, his coaches told the commentary at the fighter meetings that he was going to be more patient this fight and be more slow and methodical. That was an absolute lie.
Yeah.
Because he was not. Terrence McKinney went. So I don't know how to explain this, but Demir just was frozen.
Yeah,
he was throwing back, but at the same time, he didn't know what to do because Terrence McKinney was just like, okay, bell rings, fight. McKinney's on him, like immediately. just ran across the cage, was all over him, punch, kicks, punches, kicks, push him up against the cage, boom, 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 boom. And this fight lasted 1 round. Terrence McKinney with the TKO via punch in round 1 was just all over him, like all over him. I don't even know if Terrence really got hit that bad. It was crazy. So he did win by TKO. We both picked him, so that was good.
I feel like it was one of those fights where once Terrence felt how Demir felt in the ring, he's like, all right, I'm not worried.
He got nothing.
So I'm just going to finish him. For a run through him, get out of there. We're not paid by the hour. We're paid by the fight. Let's make this quick and go home. Because, yeah, dude, once he was in there, dude, it was over. It was like, all right, once he felt him, got a few exchanges, it was over. He was like, well, I'm not going to back up until you're done. So Damir Hadzovic, I think, might need to go back to the regional scene.
Oldest fighter on the card, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I believe he was the oldest fighter on the card. So it might be, I think it was.
I mean, hey, the GFL, I think might need some fighters.
There's now a spot. There is now a spot for retiring fighters.
So PFL has now elevated itself. No longer the retirement home. GFL has taken over the geriatric fighting league.
Quite literally, yes. But McKinney, obviously, with how his record is back and forth, he's not going to get anyone crazy. But he should get a solid opponent next.
Yeah,
that should hopefully test him because this was way too easy.
Way too easy. This is a perfect example of the type of fighter we're talking about with Grodd, where he may not win every fight, but it's going to be entertaining when he does fight because Terrence, he's not going to win every fight, but dude, he's going to go out there and try his very hardest and try to take the dude's heads off. And, maybe it happens to him sometimes, but, a lot of the times it happens to his opponents.
Yeah, when you're watching Terrence McKinney, someone's going to sleep. And it might be him, but it might not be him. But someone's going to sleep. So props to him. Like I said, not much to talk about in this fight because it was so quick. He just ran through him and beat him down. But we both picked him. So I'm back on the board, 2-2.
Let's go.
You're on fire.
I moved on to 4-0. I was feeling so good, but I'm like, am I about to go undefeated through this whole thing?
I know you were watching. You were watching these prelims, rubbing your hands, like, oh my god, this is great.
I was like, Gaziv next and Imavov next. I'm like, bro, we're going undefeated in the prelims. I was feeling them good.
And you did because Shamil Gaziv up next, the greatest heavyweight of all time, up against Thomas Peterson.
Oh my!
This guy's scary, dude. Shamil Gaziv is scary as hell. He's missing a tooth. He looks like a monster in there. He's hairy as hell. He's massive. You're like, oh my god, I don't want to be in a back alley with this guy.
And he's like Russian Tyson Fury, bro.
Well, funny enough, the commentary said that they were watching Fury and Usyk to prepare for this fight. Shamil must have been because he knocked the shit out of Thomas Peterson in round 1. Oh, pretty badly.
Insane.
This was all stand up. They were going back and forth, touch. Peterson really didn't have anything for Gaziv, but once he actually landed one on his chin, it was over. He dropped him. Middle of the cage, round 1. Insane. With a round walk-off knockout, might I add.
Walkout, knockout.
Thompson,
I cannot believe that.
Left. Shamil Gaziv is a monster.
He's a monster. Shamil Gaziv we're talking about.
Yeah.
Walk-off KO.
He's the greatest heavyweight of all time. I told you.
Dude, bro's arms are so freaking long. It is ridiculous, dude. I'm like, dude, this dude's a freaking giant in there. Literally, dude. He literally is Russian Tyson Fury with those arms and just the beard, the shaved head. I'm like, bro. That was insane. I pictured this fight as Gaziv, probably getting a ground and pound TKO. I did not picture him knocking this dude out with a walk-off right hand. Literally. Right there, walks off.
GFL, I have another fighter for you. Thomas Peterson.
Hey, he might be the youngest fighter.
He's heading over because this was absolutely shameful to let Shamil Gaziv walk off KO you. But
dude, this is the Gaziv is the same fighter we saw headbutt his head into the cage when he was fighting Garzinho Rosenstrike. Literally ram forward, head first. Smash into the damn cage, get destroyed by Garzinho Rosenstrike. Couldn't even touch Garzinho. And then he sleeps.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, sleeps this dude like nothing. I'm like, dude, this dude must have been training hard, dude. So, I mean,
you wanted to win.
He's back on my radar, dude. I was a little bit worried where he might go. after that Rosenstrike performance, but nah, man, he's right back to the top because, hey, man, Thomas Peterson was studying Usyk. This is basically a top-level boxer. Not really. They kept saying that. They're like, Thomas Peterson's been studying Usyk. I'm like, this guy's a wrestler. I thought, why is he trying to be Usyk? I'm like, that takes a little longer than one camp, bro. I'm like, maybe stick with what you're good at.
He was studying Usyk, but he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. Man.
This was
Gazib,
awful.
dude. He's such a fan favorite. I mean, I think it's just because he's such a freaking freak build, like massive fighter in there, like literally plodding in there. It's like he doesn't even look athletic. He's like barely picks up his feet when he moves. He's like has his hands down, but he gets it done. Let's go, Gazib. Title shot twice now.
If you went on to the video game on UFC 5 and you were like, okay, let's build a creative character for a heavyweight division, you'd make him for the memes.
Literally.
Bro, but he's actually good.
So heavyweight Russian.
He's out here knocking people out with a walk-on KOs.
Insane, bro.
We both picked him, so we both got it. That was great.
Let's go.
I'm 3-2. You're over here kicking ass. 5-0. 5-0. And we head into the main event. Muhammad Naimov versus Khan Ofli. This was a solid fight. I will say that Naimov was like super over. Like they loved him. They even showed a video, like I guess pre-recorded video when back in his home country. They had like I don't know where they were at, but it was like
like a big
not a stadium, but like an amphitheater of like staging and tons of fans, and they were chanting his name. I was like, what is happening here? Like he's this popular? Apparently he is. Solid fight between both of them. I thought Naimov looked obviously way better. Yeah, one of the judges gave Ofli at least one round, which I disagreed with. But hey, decent enough. He didn't get finished. Yeah. We did go all 3 rounds. 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. Naimov wins via unanimous decision. I thought the fight was solid though.
Yeah, I think this is another example of someone who's a little bit outmatched in there. I think Ofli, wasn't the best matchup for Naimov, where Naimov is much better fighter. But this is where it switches up between Damir Hadzovic and Ofli, where Hadzovic just folded instantly. Ofli makes it the entire 3 rounds and put up actually a pretty good fight once Naimov kind of started to tire out. Because I thought Naimov was going to get the finish in there, but Ofli made it tough in there and kind of started putting up a decent fight. I don't know if I would give him a round like that one judge. But, man, I think this is, maybe not a close fight, but less dominant than I expected for Naimov. But he still got it done, and I think he's still in a positive trajectory. Hopefully, on the other hand, I don't know if he's going to be back after that.
Yeah, probably not. But again, we both picked Naimov, and you are 6-0 heading out of the prelims.
I was feeling so good. 6-0 in the prelims.
I was feeling good. I was feeling good at 4-2, and then you were 6-0. I was like, damn, I'm not feeling good no more.
For real, dude.
I thought you had this. I thought you had it. I was like, I lost this week.
For real, dude. As you guys can see, my record goes downhill from here. I start out 6-0 and 8-3.
Yeah,
Brady catches up to me.
The prelims were solid. The prelims were, besides the first fight of the night, solid. We got 3 good finishes here, and some solid fights. Feeling good. And then we go into what is a surprising main card. I'll put it at that. We have
crazy.
We have some decent fights here, but we have some shocking winners and losers. So we kick off with Farcium versus Mike Davis kicked off the main card. And as you can see, you went with Mike Davis. I went with Ziem. Man, Ziem's good. Mike Davis, he's good. He's good too, but not yesterday. I don't know.
Dude.
He said he came in with an injury. He said he wasn't feeling well. Whatever it was, He did not look good.
Yeah.
He kept
I mean,
pulling guard like immediately.
yeah.
He would try and like drag him in and jump on his back and pull guard. It was
Mhm.
strange. And Ziam was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I'm just gonna ground him on you then."
For
Like,
real.
what are you doing?
Zion,
And
very good performance.
yeah, he cut Mike Davis open early on pretty bad, like pretty bad.
Oh
There was
yeah.
blood everywhere. But props to Mike Davis, man. He was getting his ass beat for a little bit there, and he held on. He stayed into it.
Yeah,
Um,
that was insane, dude. The amount of
first and
blood that
second
was
round,
leaking.
yeah, first and second round, CM was really obviously winning this fight. Mike Davis had some decent strikes, just mostly from the bottom, but he wasn't doing much. And then the third round, ZM won, but Davis started to turn things around. He ended up cutting ZM above the eye, which was a pretty nasty cut.
Oh
And it was actually the first time ZM's ever been cut in a fight. So he
yeah,
got cut
there
for the
was so
first
much
time. It was pretty
blood.
bad. Yeah, they were bleeding really bad. So ZM's cut was like above his eye, and it was leaking pretty bad. I think Davis's was on the side or top of his head because I couldn't really
Yeah,
see a cut, but there
I think
was
it was
so much blood.
hairline somewhere.
Yeah, there was a lot of blood. Like
Oh yeah.
this, the cage was pretty much clean up until this point, and then after this fight, the cage was not clean anymore. It was fully red. ZM wore white fight shorts, and they were fully red. It was
Yeah.
very bloody, very brutal.
And we
But
have
it
to
did.
talk about that submission attempt.
Oh my God, yes! How did
Mike
I forget about
Davis.
that?
Oh
Mike
my.
Davis went for a submission, a leg lock, and I don't even know.
I don't know how this dude's
He
Zion's
twisted
knee.
his.
Yeah.
Imagine this, like my elbow, right? Bend. This was your knee, but the other way, and
Yeah.
he like kept. He was
I have
fine. I
no
don't know.
idea. Literally, dude, I was trying to put together in my head, like, how is this anatomy working? How is his knee not literally exploding right now? Because it was like a calf slicer. Like, I don't even know what it was, dude. I'm not educated enough in BJJ to know exactly what was going on, but I could tell
It was like
that
a
knee was
capsulizer,
about
but
to.
like reversed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I've never seen a leg bend like that and then be fine. I'm like, what?
Someone described it pretty funny. They said this was like if you had an AI prompt and said make two guys grapple, and then it like fucked the legs up. The
Yeah,
AI fucked the legs up because they were like
literally.
so awkwardly intertwined and like,
For real. Don't even know
bro,
how to generate it right.
it
Yeah,
was
I was literally.
disgusting.
I'm like, a bone should be somewhere here. Wait, how is that foot going here? I'm like,
Like,
literally
where's
his feet were
Mike's
going
leg?
like opposite direction. Yeah, literally. I'm like, what? I could
Bro,
not
it
believe
was
that. I literally thought I was about to get another keep the undefeated streak going. I'm like, the comeback. I was like, oh my, the submission. But no, Zion somehow, some way gets out of it and keeps
not only did he get
dominating.
out of it, he was like fine. Like he
Yeah,
just like didn't wince at all. He was just
yeah.
like got up and was like chilling. Like
No
he has
effect.
to be hurting today.
For real, I'm like, dude's knees, like whatever sort of knee exercises he does, he needs to share, dude. I'm like,
Bro's
what is going
Gumby.
on? For real, exactly. Gumby, literally, dude. He's not made of like the same material as us because that was just the most crazy visual I've seen of this. And then him being completely fine, like literally. So normally it'd be like, okay, a guy didn't tap on a arm bar, but then you can kind of tell his arm is messed up the rest of the fight. This is like,
Or you could tell them like they'll grit their teeth and they're like,
yeah,
like when they're in it. He was just like in it, like just keep fighting back. Like, you're like, what is happening? How is he not feeling this?
seriously, dude. So shout out Zion, man. Ends my undefeated streak, but you get right back in that win column.
Yeah, let's go. He was kicking ass for me, and he did good. He did good. Like I said, it did go to decision, and the official scorecard was 30-27 across the board for ZM. Very bloody fight. Fun fight to kick off the main card. But like I said, something was up with Mike Davis. Maybe he was hurt. I don't know, but he did not look the best.
Yeah, he didn't.
We'll see. We'll see where he goes from here. Then, the fight that I was looking forward to the most. This was my top bill on the card. This was my main event. We had
Oh yeah.
Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira. So Said Nurmagomedov had a little bit of a layoff, and he's coming back. He was dominant before. Took a little bit of time off. Coming back. He's the Nurmagomedov who's not a wrestler.
Yeah.
He can't wrestle.
And I
This
don't
guy,
even think he's related, right? I think he just has the same name, but he's like friends with
yeah,
him, but not
yeah.
actually related.
They said he was in training camp with them for this fight. Apparently they didn't work on wrestling because I don't know what's up with him. But he's a great striker, though. He's a great striker. And
Very
Vinicius
good.
Oliveira, also a great striker, a wild striker. And this is why I was very excited for this fight. This fight didn't go exactly how I thought it would, but it wasn't bad by any means. But they just like Vinicius Oliveira had a plan, and his plan was to let Saeed get tired. Clearly, Saeed I
Yeah.
thought won round one, and it was very grapple heavy. Which again, Saeed's not a wrestler. Vinicius Oliveira also not a wrestler, but very grapple heavy. And I think Vinicius Oliveira was letting him do that to tire him out, and it worked. Because we go into round two, and you could see Saeed wasn't fully out of it, but he was starting to breathe with his mouth open, and yeah, he was getting into it. Meanwhile, Vinicius Oliveira was out there smiling in the corner. He's ready to go.
He's like, la la la, I'm ready to knock this guy out now.
And then the fun started. So these guys were like, basically, hey, screw actually trying to stick and move and actually like throw solid punches. We're just gonna windmill each other. They're just like throwing crazy strikes. Oliveira was just throwing overhands, just throwing them back and forth. They were going at each other, wrestle, throw. And it was really, really tiring Saeed Nurmagomedov out. He did get a good shot. I think it was a body kick or a punch in the body. And he hurt Oliveira clearly in the ribs. He kept favoring it. He kept putting his arm on his ribs and like, that hurt.
Yeah.
And
those kicks from Nurmagomedov were crazy.
Yeah. But Oliveira, I thought, pulled the round out. So, in my opinion, we were 1-1 heading into the third. And when we come into the third, man, Saeed was tired. He was definitely tired. He was having a hard time breathing. He was sitting in the corner, breathing really heavy. And then we come out to the fight. He was still couldn't fully get his breath. And then Oliveira obviously noticed this and was like, screw striking. I'm taking you down. And Saeed was trying to get a takedown of his own. Blocked every single time, and Oliveira would just ride him, punch him in the ribs, and then sometimes in the head, go to his back, just really hold him down, and
insane.
squeak out a win. Yeah.
So
for me, this was 2-1 Oliveira going to the judges for me.
I agree. It was one of those fights where I thought Oliveira squeaked it out, but I could also see it. We talked about, some biased judging and, how hometown favoritism.
Yes. I messaged Max before the decision was read, and I said, I feel like Oliveira was getting screwed here. But he didn't. He didn't.
I thought
Vinicius
so too.
Oliveira, 29-28 across the board for Oliveira. I was very, very happy about this because I thought this is the exact scorecard I had, 29-28 Oliveira, and he didn't get screwed. I
know, dude. I was like, I feel like the Nurmagomedovs have had not, even though this guy's not related, but the Dagestani fighters have not had the best week. Umar losing, Usman, having that close fight in PFL, and then this one, they're probably telling Saeed, bro, you can be part of our family if we're gonna replace you with. We're gonna get rid of Umar, bring you in. Since Umar lost, you're gonna be the new member of the family. But he unfortunately didn't get it done. And I really was not sure where they were gonna go with the scorecards because it was a really, really close fight. So I honestly wouldn't be shocked if they gave it to Saeed, but I do think the correct guy got his name called, and I think that Vinicius Oliveira, we've been a fan of him since the Contender Series, and I think that he's another one of those guys. I keep saying it. He's another one of those guys who, he may not be the most technical. He may not, be a champion one day. I mean, hey, don't let me stop you. I hope you do. But he's going to be a damn good entertainer every single time he goes out there and put on crazy fights. Yeah, I mean, even if he's losing, he'll be coming back and he'll try to be going for a knockout. And he was tired in there too. Yeah, he was gassed as well.
He was even doing flying knees. He was trying. He didn't land any, but he was trying.
For real. And you could tell Saeed was gassed, but so was Vinicius. But you could tell Vinicius just had that dog in him, and you could tell he was not going to be as affected by that fatigue as Saeed. And Saeed, you could tell, he could barely stand. He was so visibly fatigued. With Oliveira, you could tell he was tired, but he was still coming forward, and you could still tell he was going for the KO every single time. And I think
Yeah.
that sort of hunger and determination could take him, maybe not to the belt, but I think a very good career in the UFC.
So then, following the fight, Oliveira did reveal that he was coming in with a rib injury. Apparently, that was bad enough that they contemplated canceling the fight, but he said he felt
Crazy.
like I need to fight. I mean, obviously they traveled all the way to Saudi Arabia. He's like, I need to fight this fight. I'm not canceling it. So he did it and he won. But he did say, hey, my ribs were hurting. And that was very clear in the fight. He kept favoring him. He was holding them. He got kicked in him. And then he was really like, oh my God, that's not good. But he did win. So shout out to
We
him.
both got that one.
We both got that one. I am 2-0 on the main card. I'm firing up here.
Bro, Brady's heating up.
And then we head on to Sergey Pavlovich versus Yazini Rozenstruik. This fight was not what I expected. When this
Me
fight
neither, dude.
came on, I was like, "Hey, don't blink." I really thought someone was going out in the first round.
Yeah, this was a disappointer.
They didn't. So there was like one highlight in this fight. It was Sergey Pavlovich did knock down Rozenstruik at one point, and then jumped on him for some ground and pound, but he did not finish him. Otherwise, when they were standing, it was a lot of like feints, like I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And you could tell the crowd was like on the edge of their seat. I was on the edge of my seat at home because I was like, hey, this is boring, but I know that one shot from either of these guys could be the end. So when they're like fainting, I'm like, oh my God, here they go.
Exactly.
No.
I'm like, any second one of them's going down.
It never happened.
Never
oh my
happened.
God. This fight had me
dude.
on the edge of my seat for the worst reason. I was like, here we go. Oh,
Exactly. Exactly.
Round ends. Here we go, round ends. Oh, we got a decision. Damn it.
Oh, yeah. What?
Awful.
For real? The fight's already over? What? For real. I'm looking at the stats here. Pavlovich landed 25 strikes the entire time, and Rozenstruik landed 17, bro. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That is,
and most of them for Pavlovich were on the ground when he
took down. Oh yeah, I'm sure. For real, dude. So I'm like, there was very little action in terms of actual action. There was a whole lot of anticipating action, but a whole lot of strikes, not actual action.
There was probably more strikes in one round of Nurmagomedov and Oliveira than there was for Sergey the whole time. Oh,
yeah,
man, it was
like
bad.
I understand because they're so powerful, both of them, so they don't want to, expose themselves and get clipped. But I'm like, bro, you're gonna have to do it eventually. I'm like, otherwise it's just gonna be a decision L for Rozenstruik. So Rozenstruik, I think neither of them really did that much to win, honestly. So I feel like I don't really consider this a good performance for either one.
No, but Sergey only won because he got a knockdown.
Yeah,
that knockdown saved him. Otherwise, it was hard as hell to judge, I'd assume.
Yeah. So interesting fight in terms of the fact who even won, and like how, like you said, it was like entertaining in terms of they're about to drop because they're so powerful. On the edge of my seat, like you said, but then no payoff. So it's kind of disappointing. And I think that Pavlovich definitely needed a highlight reel KO to get back in the fans' graces after his last performances lately. And I don't think that sort of performance is going to get back into, where people were saying Pavlovich, future champion. Now, I don't know if that's, people are saying that.
He can get past Tom Aspinall. There's no way. Not with a performance like
after
that.
After the first time, that that really set him back. And then Volkov really freaking taught him a lesson. And then he was freaking shoving Volkov after the fight. After they used to be teammates, he was like salty that he got his ass whooped.
Yeah. But so, on the flip side, how bad we say about Sergey. Hey, he won. So how's that about Rozenstruik?
Yeah, exactly. With Rozenstruik, I have a little less expectations in terms of like championship level. So I kind of expected more from Sergey, where Rozenstruik, we've kind of seen that he's really not quite at that level. And he's kind of like a gatekeeper of the heavyweight division.
Yeah.
But Yeah, but I do think that he could have, if he let more go, he could have clipped him. But we'll never know.
Yeah, it was just. I get it in a sense. Me right now, I fully understand. If I'm in the cage with one of them, I'm terrified, and I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't want to throw because they're
yeah,
going to counter me.
I wouldn't want to
But
throw you.
for against each other, like they both have power. So it's like, man, if I land, it could be it. But you don't want to get countered. But at some
Yeah,
point, over 15 minutes, you got to take a chance. You
bro,
want to win the
you're here to
fight.
fight. Yeah, for real, they are
Yeah,
having the ref. All right, guys, let's go. For real, like
yeah. The ref was telling them,
multiple
like,
times.
fight, do
Yeah,
something.
yeah. He's like, you guys
There
been
was
feigning for 2 minutes straight.
Yeah, there was I was gonna say there was like a 2, 3 minute stretch where they were literally not throwing anything. They were just like moving like they were gonna, and
Yeah.
they never did.
Well, they're way
Oh
too
my
gun
god.
shy for this fight. Like, you can't be gun shy against someone who gets knocked out so easily. It's like we've seen
This is why we
Rosenstrike
like
get
Tom
slept
Aspinall.
many times. Exactly.
This is why
It's
Tom
like
goes in
he's
there
not
and
afraid.
throws.
Boom. He'll
Yeah.
let the trigger go 3 times before you even have time to let one go. For real, dude. So I think that they both need to improve a lot, especially Sergey, because I think he has more,
Well,
to keep
I could
going in the UFC. I think Rosenstrike needs to improve, obviously, but I think
I
his
could
career
see
might be towards the end.
I could see Sergey being gun shy because of what coming off of his losses and
Yeah.
because he got pretty badly knocked out. But at the same time, man, Josinia Rosenstrike hasn't knocked anyone out and like devastatingly in I don't even know how long, a
Yeah.
while.
For real, it's like
So it's like
yeah.
just
For
go
real.
for it.
So this is a stinker fight, honestly. Very disappointing. I was very excited for this fight, but it did not live up to my expectations.
But we both picked Pavlovich, so we got
Yep.
that right.
Very true.
And then we
A
moved
winner.
on to the co-main event, which was I was shocked at how this went, honestly.
Hey, what do you mean? You picked him.
No, I'll explain. Shara Magomedov versus Michael Page. I picked Michael Page. You picked Shara Bullet Magomedov. The reason why I was shocked is because we know MVP. We know MVP's style. We know that a lot of people have issues with him when they're in the cage. I did not expect Magomedov to have this much issues with him.
Yeah.
He was frozen. He felt like he could not get going. He couldn't really find anything. MVP shut him down, and I picked Page, so I was excited about this.
Oh yeah.
But I was also definitely surprised because I thought it was going to be a way more fast paced, like back and forth striking fest than what it actually ended up being. I didn't think this fight was bad by any means, but it definitely was interesting to the point
Yeah.
where Magomedov he didn't look like he did in previous fights.
Yeah, 100%. I was very shocked as well, where I thought that, Michael Venom Page has such a unique style, but I also think Magomedov has a unique style too. So I was like,
Yeah.
which style is going to dictate who's like, and I clearly picked Magomedov, and that did not age well because, yeah, once he was in there with him, and like after the first round, you could tell he was frozen in there. Like he was just gonna play to Michael's hand the entire time. Like, I don't get how fighters will watch Michael Page all of his fights when he wins. It's the same thing, bro. He'll just lull you to sleep with all of his BS antics, with his hands down, twerking mid fight. And then he literally crashes in so hard with that 1-2, and it's crazy. Or he'll
Yeah,
like do some other
he does the
crazy
same
stuff.
thing every time, but the issue is I don't think they can. You can't read it. You just can't.
Yeah.
So he keeps his hands down, like fully
Yeah.
down by his side, and then suddenly,
KSI.
bang, it comes up.
For
It
real.
comes up. But he does it so perfectly that when he crashes in, it's timed so perfectly that he whips that arm up to hit you right in the face, and it
And
doesn't
then
miss.
by the time you counter, he's already jumped back. For real. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a
So you
crazy
can't.
style.
Yeah, and the way he's moving around, moving his head, he throws a leg kick, and then he will eat leg kicks. That was the one thing that Magomedov was landing, especially early on. He was landing leg kicks, but how many times? I think the commentary even kind of pointed this out. How many times have we seen fighters fight MVP and they go, "Okay, I'm targeting the legs." It doesn't work. It doesn't work. People
Yeah.
always target this guy's legs. They go after his legs because they think, "Okay, we take his legs out. it dissolves his movement, and then we can get him. His legs never get hurt. Like
Yeah,
Magomedov was kicking the hell out of his legs in the first round. It didn't matter.
for real. It's just like his style is just so frustrating to watch when you're rooting for the other guy. It's just like, bro, why are you not pushing more pressure on him? Because they'll be afraid to get countered. But I'm like, bro, he likes to counter you guys when you guys are just frozen there. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like they'll just
MVP's
literally. It'll be a repeat of the same thing constantly in the fight. It's crazy. It'll be like bounce, 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 bounce. Crashes in, lands a hard shot. All right, let me reset. All right, do that 20 more times, literally, and get the win. It was crazy, but hey, it works.
And then he has now kind of worked on his wrestling. We've seen him do the Polaris grappling. He did that, and he won. And Magomedov, again, don't listen to the namesake because he also can't really wrestle.
I know, right? I thought that would also. I thought maybe he's obviously not a wrestler, but he is from Dagestan, so it's part of the culture. He can wrestle, somewhat. At least I thought.
He could not get Michael Page down.
Not at all. I feel like Michael looked pretty decent for a middleweight. I mean, he definitely was not like freaking big for a middleweight. Shar is not really a big middleweight,
by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, he looked good in there. And now, did you hear? He's now saying, after that performance, he's saying, "I just want to have fun fights, or whatever. I'll even go up another weight class and fight Yuri Prohaska."
Yes.
I'm like, I don't know, bro.
I say yes.
You say yes to that?
Yes. Yeah, why not?
I mean, hey, right? I mean, if he is fully like not interested in the belt, literally, like.
Well, I will say this. I don't know his exact age, but he is older.
Oh yeah, I think honestly, like 37 something.
He's not going to get a title. He's just not. Especially moving the weight divisions up and down. At the top of the bill where he's at, I don't think he wins a belt. He's going to have to fully wrestle, and he's not going to win, or he's going to have to fight.
And it's going to be 5 rounds.
Yeah, 5 rounds, and he's going to have to fight or either a really, really good wrestler or one of these guys who are, hits like a truck.
Yeah, and twice his size, I feel like. Like, he's definitely not the biggest middleweight.
So, for him to just go and be like, let's just have fun fights, man. I'm at the end of my career. I'm in the UFC. I made it. Whatever. Let's make money, have fun. I don't mind it. I actually do not mind that at all. I'll take a Yuri fight. I know what everyone says. I want the Stephen Thompson fight. I want MVP for Stephen Thompson, and I know everyone, including them, say that fight would be really boring if we fought. I want to see it. I don't care. I think it wouldn't be boring. Yeah, prove to me that it won't be boring because I don't think it would be. With the way they both move, with the karate styles of both of them, it has to at least be decent. It has to be. There's no way that it's boring.
I do want to see that fight. I mean, I feel like it's a shame if you don't make it.
The one guy, I really think that the one guy that knows about MVP's style and will be able to counter him is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
Exactly.
MVP's going to crash in. He's going to jump. He's going to do the karate. He's going to crash in. But Stephen moves that way too. So if he crashes in, Stephen's going to move back, and then he's going to crash in. And then I feel like it's going to be good. I really do.
I agree.
Especially very kick heavy. Even, like I said, they both came out. Stephen Thompson said, that fight will be boring as hell. MVP said, nah, I don't want it. That one will be very boring. I thought, you're lying. You're lying to my face. It's not going to be boring.
Yeah, 100%. I think that if we look back 20 years from now and you say Michael Venom Page and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson were on the same promotion, on the same fight in the UFC at the same card, and they're not fighting each other, why? Literally, it's going to be like, why would you not match them up together when they're both kind of in the same realm, or maybe Wonderboy, hasn't had a win as recently, but Wonderboy's still game, bro. I'm like, he's still very, very good striker, and I think that MVP's probably had better form lately. But I mean, hey, he said he wants fun fights. That would be a fun fight.
And again, we talk about the age of MVP. Yes, he's winning, but this isn't prime MVP. He's not knocking people out. He's winning by decisions. He's winning because of point fighting and the movement that no one can
his style,
figure out. So that gives Stephen Thompson an opportunity. He's not going to get knocked out. Thompson isn't going to get knocked out, but he can outpoint MVP, and that gives him a chance. So, make this fight. Come on. But if he wants to fight Yuri, I'll take that too. Honestly,
Dude,
I'll take that.
for real, that would be insane, dude. If I was the early predictions on that, I got Yuri destroying him.
I got Yuri
But
too. MVP small, especially moving up to
yeah,
light heavyweight. He's small, but it would be
I'm
fun. I
like,
do think it
dang.
would be fun, and
I'm
it would
like
help
Yuri.
Yuri get his mojo back.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I feel like it's already back after that Hill fight, for real.
Back, yes, but will he get the next title shot?
Exactly,
Probably
yes.
not.
So that's one thing I'm like, bro, Yuri is title worthy at 205, but you don't want to fight title worthy guys at 185. I'm like, dang, he must think the lightweights suck. I mean, light heavyweights suck.
I do think it's a style with Yuri, but hey, I wouldn't want to
Bro,
fight him
it'd be
after he
fun,
just
but
knocked out Jamal Hill. Yeah, man, I want that now.
bro,
Give
right?
me,
Now that you put it out
give
there.
me, give me MVP versus Yuri. Yuri probably wins, and then to bounce back for MVP, give me Stephen Thompson. There we
Exactly.
go.
I like it. Matchmaker Brady.
Please,
Hire him, UFC.
please. But like I said, I did pick Paige. I'm on fire right now. I'm undefeated on the main card. You took an L here. I just can't. So my thought process here was I can't pick against MVP in a pure strike contest. I just can't. We talked about it a little. Magomedov was just shut down. He couldn't do anything. We didn't see any. He did the double spinning back fist. Nothing like that. Nothing crazy. He tried, I think, one time, but we didn't see anything crazy. And Michael Page did pick up the win 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. Magomedov came earlier in the fight week and said he was going to he was talking spiritually and and said he's going to send Michael Page to the shadow realm. He lied. He did not look like he was going to do that.
Before we move on, I just want to ask you, where do you think Shower Bullet goes from here? Like, do you still see him as the same trajectory, like prospect wise? Like, does this really negative? I feel like it kind of affects how I view him at least.
So,
but I do think he can still bounce back.
He was what? Was he 15 and 16 and 0?
Something like that. Very crazy record. Let me see.
Undefeated, and Michael Page took his L. Now, what I will say is,
15 and 0 until then. Yeah.
What I will say is, yes, it affects it a little bit because the age of Michael Page, but I will also say that I don't think Magomedov ever has fought anyone with a striking acumen of Page. So, this is definitely something new here. I think next for him, obviously he's not going to get a ranked fighter, obviously.
Yeah. I thought it was crazy he was already ranked. I was like, how is he ranked ahead of MVP? Well, I guess it was a new division, but I'm like, dang, he's already ranked? I'm like, dang.
I think he has to fight back. I think he got to fight back. He has to fight someone who's – he has to fight – man, if I'm UFC, it all depends on what they think. If they think he has the potential, right, still has the potential, you put him against another striker, just purely striker, who's not as good as MVP. Because I do think, based on what we saw, he's going to have a lot of issues with wrestlers. So I wouldn't book him against a wrestler because I think he loses that. And then his trajectory is really going to go down. I'll keep it. It's still okay right now for MVP. If he loses again to someone even lesser than MVP, then it's going down. And then you're looking at this guy isn't what we thought he was going to be. So
yeah, totally. I agree. I think that even though I picked him, even though I picked Shara, I did know that this is a huge step up for him. Like, he went from Armin Petrosian, he did the double back fist on, and then now he's fighting MVP. I'm like, that is a big step up from, a decent UFC fighter to, a very good elite striker who's been around and fought some of the best fighters in the entire world. And I think that inexperience really showed, where it's like, bro, he didn't know what to do. He could not adjust. Like, he clearly had one game plan, it didn't work, and then he was like, well, now I don't know what to do.
The record really shows. I will say this. I think a lot of people see that record, 15 and 0. Damn, he must be good. You also got to think, yes, he's good, obviously, but you have to think that to build that record, 1 and 0, 2 and 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 0, he's fighting cans, man. He's fighting nobody to get up.
Yeah.
To at least up to like 10 and 0, he's fighting nobody. And then you get in the UFC, and it's like, okay, he's fighting decent competition, but still lower level UFC fighters. And then once you reach the upper echelon, like an MVP, which who's not even upper echelon, but when you're fighting a guy like that, then we can tell, like, okay, he's actually good. He's actually can be a title challenger.
Yeah.
But you're losing to him, then it's like, we'll see.
Yeah, I think.
Now,
Yeah, I think Shara failed his first real test in the UFC, where they've been kind of giving him layups since he came into the UFC, where he wasn't really a favorite.
We saw the same with Hamza Chimaev, but kind of like opposite on the fact that he come in with the already undefeated record. He was fighting lower level guys. They gave him the opportunity to fight a higher level guy, and he won. So now he's going
100%.
on.
Yeah, totally.
Shara, they gave him the opportunity, and he lost. So now it's like, okay, restart, push it back.
Reevaluate. Yeah, push him back. Yeah, kind of like getting someone in between, like get him someone back to where it's someone better than Petrosian or his last win,
like
and
a top
worse
20.
than MVP.
Like a top 20.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
because definitely a lot to learn from that fight.
Watch. I will say he's still fun to watch.
Exactly. Yeah, very fun to watch. Now I just think he's gonna need to make some adjustments if he wants to, be a title contender.
And I'll say it every week. I'll say it every time we have this show. You have to be well-rounded. This isn't 1998 anymore. You have to wrestle. Yep. You have to be a wrestler. If you can't wrestle, like look at MVP. He's not a wrestler, but he knows enough. And he out-wrestled Shara because Shara couldn't wrestle. So it's like you have to at least know a decent bit about wrestling. You have to, or else you're just going to lose. Because then everyone's like I said, MVP's not a wrestler, but he's like, oh, this guy can't wrestle? Well, that's my path to victory then. Mm-hmm. So there you go. You have to be well-rounded in 2025. You have to be, or else you're just going to keep losing, especially for a young prospect. So, hey, get them freaking wrestling shoes on and get on the mat because you're about to lose if not. But there was no wrestling in our main event. Oh, boy, there was no wrestling. So, yeah, MVP won the co-main, and then we head into Israel Adesanya versus Nasruddin Imavov in the main event. And this fight did not go how I thought it was going to go. So, all week we heard the coaches, the teammates, Alexander Volkanovski. This is a new Israel Adesanya. This is a focused Izzy. He's coming back for blood. He's fighting for the first time in 6 years, not fighting in a title fight.
Crazy.
He lost the title. He lost the rematch. Now he has to reevaluate, restart. This is his reevaluation. And oh boy. So the first round, I thought he did decent. His movement was all right. He was moving in and out. He looked good. Speed-wise, movement-wise, he looked good. He did get caught with a nasty uppercut in the first round. Nasty. He banged, his head fully flew back, and it was like, holy shit. But he ate it, and he bounced back. And I thought that he won the fight. I thought that – or not the fight, sorry, the round. I thought Izzy won round one.
I agree.
He got hit once, but outside of that, he was touching up Nasruddin. He was in and out. He was moving solid. He was moving around. Lots of leg kick heavy. Okay, we're good. Round one. That wasn't the case in round two. I don't. In the corner, Nasruddin Imavov's corner must have told him, kill this man right now. Go out there and kill this man. Sure, we get now pointed. Go kill him. And that's what he did. So round two comes out, kind of the same touch. And then out of absolutely nowhere, we were, 30 seconds into the round? Izzy gets poked in the eye. Slightly. I don't think it was that bad. But he was like rubbing his eye. Ref stepped in, and he's like, no, I'm good. Okay, you're good. Fight. And literally 8 seconds later, Nasruddin Imavov threw a nasty right hand and dropped Izzy. Finished him up with some ground and pound. We were about, I think it was a little over 30 seconds into the round two. Nasruddin Imavov gets the knockout victory over Israel Adesanya.
I could not believe it.
Right hand, drops him down, and then ground and pound. Izzy tried to complain, but his coach, shout out to his coach, Eugene Behrman, was like, don't complain. You got knocked the shit out of you.
That was a good stoppage.
Izzy looked up at him like, what? And then his coach was like, Nope.
For your leg is currently behind you. Like
you're done, buddy. You're done. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Insane, bro.
I did see people like, that was early. You watch that replay. That wasn't early. When Izzy got hit with that shot, he was out in midair. He was like going
and
down.
then the follow-up uppercut. Oh my goodness!
It was brutal. Yeah, he was done. So now they're doing Imavov in the second round, knocks out Israel Adesanya. I did not see that coming. You could have told me a million things to do or to predict, and I would not have predicted Imavov's second round knockout, 30 seconds in, knockout, not to go. He fully put him down. I would not expect that. Usually when we see Izzy get finished, even against Alex Pereira, it's up against the cage, it's block, and then TKO ref steps in.
Yeah. No.
Imavov dropped his ass and put him down. That was crazy. Pereira couldn't even do that in the UFC. But that was insane. I don't even know.
Dude.
I was in shock. I literally just said to you. I said to him, I literally just said, wow. That was it. That's all I could say. I didn't know what to say because I did not expect that at all. Wow.
Me neither, dude. I thought maybe Izzy would lose, but I thought maybe it'd be Imavov implements the wrestling and controls him, and just
no wrestling,
it done, makes it dirty. Nope.
I think he tried one time in the first round to. Yeah, I think he tried in the first round one time for a takedown, and Izzy kind of stopped it, or he bounced back up. He took him down, he bounced back up, and then it was whatever. Other than that, it was all striking, and Imavov freaking won a striking battle with Izzy Adesanya. What the hell?
For real, bro. It was that same check hook, bro. Izzy, he'll try to check him as they're coming in, and then he gets clipped with the right, and then he's already going for the hook. So it literally turns him over so bad, bro. I'm like, oh my god, bro. He's just he literally does it every time. It's the same way Strickland dropped him, bro. He tries to get the check hook as they're coming in, but they just beat him with the 1-2, bro. I'm like, dude, there's too much film on him now. There's too much film on Izzy where they've seen him get dropped with that same shot multiple times. And it's now,
and this time it wasn't a drop. This time he found somebody who hits hard enough to put him out, and it was Imavov.
For real. That uppercut was insane, bro. You could tell Imavov, dude, was
his uppercuts are nasty. I mean, the one in the first round was crazy too. He bobbed his head back with ease. It was so fast. It's so fast. You don't even see it coming. He's boom, and then you're just like, what the fuck?
It was insane. I'm sorry, Imavov. I was not familiar with your game. I'm like, bro, I knew you were good, but I didn't know you were that freaking good. Seriously, Imavov. Wow, I want to see him versus in the title shot immediately, bro. That's what we'll talk about next. It's him or Khamzat for real.
So I will point this out before we get into Imavov a little on Izzy. He did post a video on his socials and stuff of him watching the fight back, which I thought was kind of cool, immediately. And,
that is cool.
He watched the finish and was like, yeah, that wasn't early. So he props to Izzy. He fully was like, yeah, that definitely wasn't early. Props to Imavov. He finished me, da-da-da.
Izzy can take an L like a champ.
For sure. He's one of very few that he loses and he's like, I lost. Fair enough. But before we get to Imavov, we have to talk about Izzy. Is he done? Is he done? Are the allegations true? Is he washed? Is he washed?
Bro.
Couple losses now. He's not the champ anymore. He had to reevaluate and fight a contender, and he lost to the contender now by knockout. Is he done?
Yeah.
He's had a hell of a run.
Yeah, he's had a hell of a run, bro.
Second best middleweight of all time, probably.
It's like we were talking about, McGregor kind of carried the UFC and then fell off. Izzy kind of, took the mantle and started carrying the company for a little bit when
Izzy
he had that
right
title
after
run.
Conor. It was
literally
Conor passed that torch to Izzy, and now
it was that Gastelum fight was insane, and then freaking to top that off when he knocked out Whitaker, it was just bro, his momentum was insane at that time.
And then everybody was coming after him. He beat Paulo Costa.
Yeah, then he knocks out Costa, and then
which Costa at the time, Costa was
literally undefeated.
Yeah,
it's the Romero fight was a little boring, but he did get the win.
And then Vettori, which we have to touch on Marvin Vettori.
Yeah. Oh my dude, maybe the best Twitter in the game.
So Marvin Vittori is a little bit
Funny guy.
out
He
there.
may or may not put his pants on backwards and then pose for the photo shoot without noticing.
Let's just be
Literally,
honest. He
bro.
may or
That
may
is
not have
so
autism.
funny. Hey, he
He
said it
may or
himself.
may not. So okay, so I'm gonna read this right here. Marvin Vittori said, and I quote, right after Izzy lost, the only chance for Adesanya to win a fight is to fight me. LOL. You're saying the only way Izzy can win is if he fights you, so you are gonna lose. You're admitting
For
defeat
real, bro.
before it even
Oh.
happens. And then someone replied and said, Marvin, have you ever been tested for autism? To which he replied, no, but for sure I am.
Literally, bro. Oh my god. Self-aware Marvin, bro. Oh my god, bro.
No,
Especially
we haven't even seen him fight in a while. Maybe he's just like, fuck it, I just want to fight.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll lose to Izzy.
Oh
I'll lose
my
to Izzy for some
god,
money.
dude. That is so funny, bro. Marvin is so funny. If you guys don't follow him on Twitter /X, whatever, you have to follow him, bro. He's so funny. Like, he's just like one of those guys who doesn't take himself too seriously. Now that, you know, maybe he did in the past, but now he's definitely became, you know, self-aware and knows that, you know, he's kind of a meme in the community now.
Yeah, and he's.
But
Yeah.
Marvin's a great fighter. You know, crazy chin on him. I would want to see.
Dude,
I mean, hey, run it back. Screw it.
What was Marvin's last fight? Because is it the fight that I think it is? Let me look this up. Because Marvin Vittori is an absolute monster
For
when
real,
it
but
comes
Marvin,
to
his chin, literally, bro.
his chin.
Yeah.
I have to let me see real quick. The Italian Dream, Marvin Vittori.
The Italian.
It's been a while since he's fought. It's been
For
since
real, it's been forever.
June 17th, 2023, where he lost a 5-round decision to Jerry Cannonier, and that's exactly what I thought it was. This guy got his ass beat
Bad.
and stayed in it the whole time.
For
But
real.
as I look, he is booked for a fight. March 15th, UFC Fight Night and the Apex, Marvin Vittori versus Roman Dolidze. That is
Have
happening.
they fought before
That
or
is
no?
next.
I can't remember. I guess I feel like they was booked but then canceled.
Yes,
but yeah,
they have. March
They have?
18th, 2023 on UFC 286. Marvin Vittori defeated Roman Dolidze via decision.
Okay. All right.
So this
All
is
right.
a rematch.
Rematch.
Marvin
Okay.
Vittori. And Dolidze only has 3 losses, and one of those 3 is to Marvin Vittori. So that's going to be a solid fight there. I'm happy to
Well,
see Mr. Autism
well,
back in the cage.
If Marvin wins, I mean, hey, dude, if Marvin wins and Izzy doesn't retire, dude, I don't see why they can't
Run it back. Run it back, yeah.
I feel
Get
like that'd
Izzy
be
a
an
win.
easy win for Izzy, where Marvin doesn't have the best punching power.
Apparently, Marvin is going to just lay down for him
Yeah.
anyway. He said,
He
hey,
agrees. He's in
fight
agreement.
me. You won't beat me. You want to
Oh
win?
my
Fight me. I'm
Really,
begging.
bro.
I want to lose to you. Like, what the
For real,
fuck?
he's honestly facts though. I'm like, Izzy, his chin is seeming to be his biggest issue right now, and Marvin is not a power puncher at all. So hey, he could be spitting. He could be spitting.
He's already spitting. It's on his own downfall, but he's spitting.
He's like, do I get paid for this?
Exactly. That's what he wants. That's honestly. He's like, dude, put me in the main event against Izzy. I'll get paid.
Insane, dude. Insane. It's like,
even if he loses to Roman, put him against Izzy. I mean, now they're both lost.
So. Right? Yeah, good point. Hey. Dude, but I have to ask you now.
Go ahead.
What do they do with Imavov now?
Okay,
here we go. Shot?
Here's what we talk about. This is the question of the day. Nasruddin Imavov had won, and following the fight, calls out the champion. Well, champion currently, Dricus du Plessis, and he is fighting next weekend, so we will have our show next Sunday against Sean Strickland in the main event in. Is it in Australia?
I can't remember. I feel like it's at a normal time, but I can't remember if they do that in Australia or I think it is in Australia. Yep, Sydney.
And I thought Sean Strickland said he was never fighting there again, but he is. So who cares? Because of the pay thing, they get taxed like a lot over in Australia, and they get like their pay cut is crazy. But anyways, that's besides the point. They're fighting Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis. He wants the winner of that. Okay, Hamzat Chimaev also wants the winner of that, and Dana has not outright said it, but kind of alluded to Hamzat's next. Because there was even rumors that Hamzat was going to get this instead of Sean
Yeah.
Strickland, but it was actually Strickland. So, in the case of Imavov, hypothetically, let's say that Hamzat Chimaev is next. Do you wait or do you take another fight?
I know, right? I feel like you'd probably wait if I was him because
now I have two
it
schools
kind of
of thought
depends.
here.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
I
tough.
have a wait. I have a wait if you know for sure you're getting the next title shot. Because like we said, Hamzat was supposed to get this one, and all of a sudden it went to Sean Strickland. So you never know. But if they're like, hey, it's Hamzat, then it's you, fair enough. You beat Izzy, fair enough. Then okay, wait. Definitely wait. But if not, maybe if Hamzat is next, this is hypothetical again. If Hamzat's next, fight the loser of whoever lost next Saturday. Let's say Sean Strickland loses, you fight Sean Strickland, Hamzat fights Drickus, and then the winner of each fight each other.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I feel like that's probably the best scheduling wise.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like I said, he just doesn't know. But speaking of scheduling, I could see a world where because Imavov won this weekend, whoever wins next weekend wins next weekend. They're close enough that they're just like, Hamzat's out. We're doing Imavov and the winner because they're close. So the fight camps would match up. But then Hamzat gets hurt a little bit, and he's waiting. He's waiting.
Yeah, he's been
that
waiting.
guy's not fighting. Yeah. So
it's a really tricky one.
It is tricky. This is a weird one here because I think if Adesanya won this fight, Hamzat's next. Izzy can wait for sure.
Yeah.
But now Imavov beat Izzy, so now it's like, well, he definitely deserves it because he beat a former champion, and he's on a 5-6 fight win streak now. So, man, I don't know.
It's tough, man. It's like, this is kind of what happens when that freaking Hamzat and they keep doing these rematches. Where I'm like, this Strickland. I feel like they should have just gave it to Hamzat.
Me too. Yeah, that's really where it stems. Sean Strickland shouldn't have this fight. He lost. He lost. Like, what else do we need to prove? He lost.
Yeah, he beat Paulo Costa, right, in his comeback fight, and I'm like, that fight was boring as hell, bro. I'm like,
yeah, and he got his ass beat by Drickus du Plessis in the first fight. So you lost. It's over. Like, move on. Give Hamzat the shot. This guy's still undefeated, bro. He beat everybody. The way he beat Robert Whittaker should have got him a title fight. He destroyed Robert Whittaker in one round with ease.
Bro. So I think
and then they give it to Sean Strickland, who had a boring ass fight with Paulo Costa. What the fuck?
Yeah, who it's like, bro, Paulo Costa nearly lost to Luke Rockhold, who was old as hell.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
What the fuck?
For real. So I'm like, that whole division, I feel like is a little bit mismanaged. Where how has Hamzat not got a title shot yet? Like,
that's why I think he's definitely next. I do think he's next.
You're probably right.
Like if I were booking it, Hamzat's next because he has to be. Imavov can wait only because Hamzat's been waiting even longer.
Yeah.
So, and he's undefeated. So you give this guy the title fight, but then it's like, okay, does Imavov wait or does Imavov fight again? Because if Imavov waiting, and Imavov is waiting, there's potential we don't see him fight for the title until 2026.
Which is crazy, dude.
And that's that's at the lowest because with how Hamzat's schedule is, this guy might not fight for the title until 2026.
Exactly. For real. So I think it's just crazy. I feel like it depends on how this fight goes this next weekend with Drickus and Sean. Is it going to be a barn burner, or is Drickus or Sean just going to come out unscathed?
If they come,
and then they can turn around quickly.
For UFC, that's best case scenario. Have them get them out there quickly, and then they can do that. But then on the flip side, I will ask this: if Sean Strickland wins, do you give DDP a rematch?
Right? Exactly. I feel like he deserves a rematch if they're freaking making Sean Strickland get such an easy title shot. But yeah, it's just tough, dude. So that one's we're gonna have to keep an eye on that one as this goes on. Like, because I don't know. It's like one of those ones where it's like you can't really go wrong. It's not the worst position to be in where you have so many good title challengers. Where some divisions you just want one good title challenger, So it's definitely not a terrible problem to have, but I do think it is a little bit of a problem nonetheless.
Definitely. But, hey, we took an L in this main event. We both picked
Bro,
Adesanya.
I went freaking 3-2. I mean, no, 2-3 after going undefeated in the prelims, bro. This main card really
Hey, I
humbled
went 1-4. I'll take that shit.
me.
So,
Brady freaking back and tied me, bro. I had a choke.
Bro, this always happens to us. Obviously, if you haven't watched our previous show that we had on a different site, this always happens. We're like, okay, either we pick the same people and we tie, or we pick fully opposites, and somehow we still tie.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Me
I
and Brady showed each other our predictions. Yeah,
and now we're 16-8 and 16-8. I mean, what the hell?
For real, when Brady sent me his predictions, I'm like, oh, we're gonna have lots of different ones this week. And then we still end up tying. I'm like, oh my God, literally, dude. So, hey, 16-8, not terrible, dude. We'll take it. We'll freaking take it.
We'll take it. We're both definitely up there. But before we head out here, I do want to take a look at next week's card. So we have let me pull it up here. Next week, bang, UFC. Screw you, cookies. We have UFC 312 in Sydney. And we have, let's click here and see the card. We have a fun main event kicking off at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So regular time for us.
What?
Next weekend. Main event, we have Dricus Du Plessis versus Sean Strickland for the middleweight title. Co-main event, this is going to be fun. Sean Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. It's been a while since we saw Weili, and I love Weili, so this is going to be fun. Tatiana finally getting a title shot, which she deserves.
Bro, so
Weili's always fun to watch. Yeah, this is going to be a great co-main event for the women here. And then the rest of the card kind of goes down. Yeah. So we go Justin Taffa versus Talison Teixeira. How this is on the main card, I don't know. Well, in fairness, he's from New Zealand, so that's probably
exactly, yeah.
Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato again.
Okay.
First of all, another Australian versus Brazilian. We then have Jake Matthews, which, hey, he's back. He's solid to watch versus Francisco Prado, Argentina versus Australia there. Prelims kicking off at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jack Jenkins, who's fun to watch. I like Jack Jenkins.
Very fun. Jack Jenkins, fun to say.
Yeah, Gabriel Santos. That'll be a good one. And I'm also noticing here, unless I'm tripping, all the Australians are underdogs, which is wild. And they're all against Brazilians. Look, another one. Underdog. Tom Nolan versus Vyacheslav Borshchev.
Australia. You guys better not take this disrespect and show out next weekend.
Right here, this is going to be fun because Borshchev, his last fight was absolutely insane.
Dude, that guy's a madman.
We then have Wang Kong is back versus Bruno Brazil. So Wang Kong was super hyped up, but coming off of an L now, we'll see how she does against Bruno Brazil.
Bro.
And then this is a late edition, so
I love this name.
Alexander Topuria. Yes, he's the brother of Ilya Topuria, making his UFC debut. Had a different opponent originally, but now he's going against Colby Thickness, which is an absolutely insane name. Thickness.
Y'all know Dricus Du Plessis, but do you know Colby Thickness?
Yeah, I don't even know how it's fully pronounced. I'm saying thickness. Thickness. You got Colby Thickness. We'll see how thick he is when he goes on.
So where's the picture? I need a preview of that.
Bro, we're gonna look at it. Hold on. We then have Jonathan McClellan, if I said that correctly, against Kevin Yoset. Kevin's I'm not gonna lose a fist fight to a French dude.
Brian Battle's son.
Yeah. Guillem Sadikid versus Anshul Jubli. Hey, he was hyped up at one point.
Bro, Indian UFC fighter. You do not see that every day.
Hyson Park versus Najar Margal. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Try it. You do it.
Nah, you did good.
Tumen Dembrell.
Yeah.
So the early prelims kick off at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on UFC Fight Pass and ESPN Plus. Then the regular main card kicking off at Oh, let's get past it. My bad. February 8th on 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on ESPN2 and ESPN Plus, and then the main card, obviously ESPN pay-per-view at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the two top. So like we just saw, the undercard outside of the top two fights, pretty lackluster. I'd say the undercard for this yesterday was better than this.
I agree, dude. I think I feel like it's just travel. It makes it easier for all the hometown fighters, just fight there.
Yeah,
So we don't have to
100%.
fly out a million people. But I'm
And
excited
then,
for that one.
yeah, the main event could be boring, or could not be. It just depends. I really do think that it's going to be the same as the first outing between the two. And
I agree.
a little spoiler, I will be picking Jerkis. And then the co-main event I'm super excited for. That is absolutely hilarious. Do you know what Colby Thickness's middle name or nickname is?
What?
It's Slickness.
Oh my god! So it
Colby
definitely is
Slickness
though.
Thickness. Yeah, it definitely is.
Oh my god, bro, that is hilarious.
Look
bro.
at this fella.
I'm putting the house on Colby Thickness. This is not betting advice.
Hey, he's pretty skinny. He's a pretty skinny guy.
What a letdown.
Here he is. I Googled him.
Let's
Dang,
see.
there he is.
Okay, yeah. Bro, he looks like an old man.
Thickness.
I know, he just
Yeah.
has dyed hair. I thought that was a gray. I was like,
Pretty small. He's not thick at all, really. But
all right. I think he might. We'll see. Hey, yeah. Make sure you guys follow us on X. Me and Brady are gonna try to post our predictions before the event this time. You guys can check it out and see how we do.
Just fuck that up. We'll do it this time. But yeah, it's gonna be. I will say this right now. Next week's predictions are probably going to be rough because a lot of those undercarders is fucking throw your hands up and go, I don't even know. Like, it could go either way.
You're like, who is this guy? Colby Thickness?
That's
the sort of quality. That's the sort of quality we have on this guy.
Yeah, I'm going Slickness Thickness to win next week.
Thickness.
Honestly, probably won't. I think Taboria kills him.
I mean, if he's anything like his brother, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, UFC 312, Sydney, Australia, back to normal time. Let's go. Thank God, because not only do we have to wake up early, bro, I'd be forgetting on the early fights will fully happen, and I'm like,
you're right. It's like,
damn, I got
so early.
I make notes and write it down because I'm like, I'm not gonna remember. But at 10 p.m. at night, into the next day, yeah, we're chilling.
So it's fresh in the brain.
Exactly. But hey, thanks for watching. If you are tuned in on whether it is X, Facebook, we're on Twitch, on YouTube, all that good stuff. So wherever you're at, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow wherever. Thank you. We'll be back again next Sunday, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. Every single time there's a UFC fight, we will be on the next day. If there's not, we will not be. So it isn't a weekly schedule. It's only when UFC is on Saturday, then we will be on Sunday. But yeah, like he said, follow us right here. Here's mine right here. Ready Fight Talk. And here's Max's on his side. Combat Combos. We're there. We're there. Also follow Body Slam, Net MMA. Because, hey, I'll be posting on their news and live tweeting the shows. So check that out. And
well, yeah, just in case Bryce Mitchell wants to top anything, have any more controversy, we'll be covering it.
Yes, Bryce, don't.
Please don't. Please.
Don't.
Connor, don't.
Yeah, you neither don't. Nobody else. Everybody else, shut up.
Else. Sean Strickland. You have a fight coming up.
Strickland, bro. Hold on, quick prayer because the press conference and all that. Sean Strickland
with Drickus too, but Drickus is about to antagonize.
In Australia, it's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. We're gonna have another controversy.
Another controversy, yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you next week for UFC 312. Thanks for watching. Peace. If I can end the stream, peace.